to 25th of July is not just a date. It's a mirror. It doesn't shout. It doesn't warn you in loud noises, but it exposes you silently. On this day, you'll feel something inside shift. You won't be able to explain it. You might wake up feeling anxious for no reason. You might feel disconnected, irritated, or overwhelmed by thoughts that seem to come out of nowhere. That's not random. That's the energy of the 25th revealing where you still lack control. You need to understand that nothing outside you will destroy you. What breaks people is always within. On the 25th of July, emotional instability will rise like a wave. And if you're not rooted in awareness, so you'll drown in it. That's the danger. It won't come with fire. It will come in the form of restlessness, in the form of doubt, in the form of sudden mood shifts. And if you're not sharp, you'll think it's just another bad day. But it's not. It's a test. What most people don't realize is that their destruction begins when they let their emotions control their decisions. On the 25th July, this trap opens wide. You feel pressure to argue, to complain, to disconnect from discipline. You'll be tempted to skip what keeps you stable. You'll want comfort instead of challenge. And if you fall into that, you start to lose yourself, not in one big moment, but slowly, silently. That's the danger. Growth that doesn't happen on the days when everything feels calm. It happens when the storm comes and you stay centered. The 25th of July will shake your mental ground, and how you respond will reveal how far you've truly come. If your focus collapses, if your routine breaks, if your thoughts start leading you instead of you leading them, then you'll see how unprepared you are. And that realization, it's not punishment, it's a gift, because now you see where to work. Self-growth begins with honesty. 25th of July forces that honesty out of you. It shows you the places you've been avoiding, the emotions you've been suppressing, the decisions you've delayed. And if you face them, truly face them, you unlock something new. But if you hide from it again, the same pattern repeats. You go back to sleep, you return to weakness, and life keeps testing you with harder lessons. This is not a warning to fear. It's a call to awareness. 25th of July is not meant to break you, but it will if you stay unconscious. So prepare, not by running or overthinking, but by grounding yourself. Focus your breath. Clear your schedule of useless distractions. Protect your energy like your life depends on it. Because it does. Because once you let negativity enter, it spreads like poison. One wrong reaction can undo weeks of progress. That's how fragile growth is. That's why 25th of July matters. You are not what you feel on the 20th of July. You are what you choose to do with that feeling. When anxiety comes, breathe deeper. When irritation rises, don't respond. When your mind spins with doubt, observe it. Don't become it. That's the strength this day demands. You cannot be soft. You cannot be lazy. You must lead yourself through it like a warrior of the mind. The ones who rise after 25th July are not the loudest. They're not the most motivated. They are the ones who stayed silent inside the chaos. The ones who didn't react when it got dark. The ones who remembered who they are, even when everything tried to make them forget. That's who you need to become. 25th of July doesn't destroy people. It reveals what's already broken. And the beauty of that is, if you're brave enough to look, you can fix it. You can take responsibility. You can stop blaming outside noise and start sharpening your inner clarity. That's growth. That's new. That's real change. So now ask yourself, are you prepared not for comfort, but for conflict, not for peace, but for pressure? Can you stay disciplined when no one sees it? Can you stay grounded when your emotions betray you? Can you hold stillness when the world pulls at your attention? That's the exam. That's what 25th of July brings. Don't waste it. Don't let this pass like another ordinary day. Feel the pressure. Use it. Let it push you deeper into discipline. Let it clean your mind of clutter. Let it remind you why you started. This is your test, your chance to break the old and step into something sharp, focused, and new. You either collapse or you sharpen. On 25th July, the choice is yours. most people will not notice what's happening on the 25th of July. They will wake up, look at their phones, carry on with their usual distractions, and never realize that they are drifting. That is the danger, not some loud disaster. The real destruction is silent. It comes through distraction, through emotions you ignore, through thoughts you allow to control your day without questioning them. The 25th of July is dangerous not because of what happens in the world, but because of what begins to happen inside your mind. On that day, a shift will occur. For some, it will feel like heaviness. For others, it will be frustration, restlessness, or deep emotional confusion. And because most people live in reaction, they will follow those feelings without awareness. They will act out, speak words they later regret, make choices that are not aligned with their higher self. That is how a life begins to break quietly. Don't be fooled by comfort. On 25th July, the energy may push you to choose comfort over discipline. You may tell yourself it's okay to rest, to scroll, to avoid your routine, to skip your inner practice. That's how the fall begins, not with big mistakes, but with one decision that opens the door to weakness, one excuse, one delay. And before you know it, the day has passed and you've allowed your emotions to lead. Again, the truth is, most people will not grow from 25th of July. They will be pulled deeper into confusion. They will think it's just a mood or just a bad day. But it's not. It's a signal. It's the universe showing you where you still lack control, where you are still asleep. And if you don't see it, you repeat it again and again. But if you want to grow, you have to wake up on that day with full clarity. You have to know what that day represents. It's not for entertainment. It's not for noise. It's for silence, for correction, for awareness. If you understand that, you will not follow the crowd because the crowd is lost. The crowd reacts. The crowd is driven by impulse. And on the 25th July, impulse will be strong. Emotions will rise sharply. And unless you have trained your mind, you will follow them blindly. This is the truth no one wants to face. Your destruction will not come from outside forces. It will come from the choices you make when no one is watching. And on the 25th of July, those choices matter more than you think. Because this is the type of day that decides if your life remains in a cycle or breaks free into something higher. You must protect your attention. You must guard your focus. Because if you don't, someone else will steal it. A platform, a screen, a thought. So a person. And by the end of the day, you'll wonder why you feel drained, why your emotions are unstable, why you feel far from yourself. It's because you gave away your power. 25th July is about power. Either you take control or you give it away. And there is no middle ground. Every time you choose distraction, you fall back. Every time you avoid the difficult thought, the real emotion, the honest reflection, you lose another part of yourself. This is not a theory. It's reality. If you don't take your mind seriously, life will keep controlling you through it. This is the day to move opposite the masses. While most fall into reaction, you must rise into reflection. While others seek pleasure, you seek presence. While the world chooses noise, you choose stillness. So that's how you separate yourself from the crowd. That's how you grow, and it's not easy. But if it were easy, it wouldn't be transformation. Ask yourself, where will you be on the 25th of July at 7 a.m.? What will your first thought be? Will you reach for clarity or for comfort? Because how you begin that day will echo through it. And if you start from distraction, the whole day will spiral. But if you start from stillness, from awareness, from purpose, you shift everything. The energy will still come, but now you can face it. Growth begins in the small choices. That's what people miss. They think it takes a miracle. No, it takes discipline. On the 25th July, discipline is your protection. Structure is your weapon, and presence is your shield. If you have those, the energy cannot destroy you. It will only make you sharper. This is your time to rise while others fall asleep, to choose direction while others drift, to take back your inner space, your power, your future. Let 25th of July be the day you stopped following emotion, Let it be the day you reclaimed your mind. That is how new life begins. You've been given a warning, not to scare you, but to wake you. Because 25th of July can either be the day you lose yourself again, or the day you meet the version of you that was always waiting. The decision is in your hands. 25th of July is not a day for comfort. It's a day of confrontation, not with the world outside, but with the world inside. Most people don't see it coming because they're too focused on what's happening around them. But the real pressure of 25th of July will come from within. It will test your clarity, your focus, your discipline. It will expose how strong your mind is when everything around you starts to feel uncertain. This day is not random. It comes to show you exactly where you are in your journey of growth. The problem is many want growth, but they don't want pressure. They want peace, but they avoid the process. On the 25th of July, that choice won't be available anymore. You'll be pushed. You'll feel internal tension, not because something is wrong, but because something is being revealed. This is when the test begins. Will you stay calm? Will you stay committed? Will you stay conscious when your emotions rise and your thoughts begin to pull you in 10 directions? Or will you collapse? You have to understand there's no external enemy here. The challenge is your own mind, the discipline you've built so far, the honesty you hold with yourself. 25th of July will reflect it all back to you. If you've been consistent, it will show. If you've been lying to yourself, that will surface too. There's no escaping it. That's why this day matters. Not because of what happens outside, but because of what gets revealed inside. This day will test your structure. What do you do when motivation disappears? When clarity fades, when the day feels heavy and your body wants to slow down? That's the exact moment when your old habits will try to return. The comfort seeking, the laziness, the negative thoughts. And you will either feed them or face them. One choice strengthens you, the other weakens you. And that's what 25th July demands, a choice. If you wait for motivation to carry you through that day, you'll lose. Motivation is not reliable. It's emotional. But discipline, that's different. Discipline is the decision you made before the emotion arrived. On the 25th July, you'll need to remember your decision. The decision to grow. The decision to lead your mind, not follow it. The decision to rise above whatever emotional noise tries to pull you down. That's how you pass the test. It's easy to stay balanced when everything feels good, but that's not growth. Growth happens when it's uncomfortable. When you feel like quitting, when the pressure rises, that's when the real training starts. 25th July brings that pressure. It brings the moment that reveals whether you're just pretending to grow or whether you're truly walking the path. And that path requires strength, not the kind that flexes, the kind that stays still when everything else is shaking. On the 25th of July, don't look for comfort, look for clarity. Ask yourself what's trying to break me today, what emotion is testing me, what part of me is still weak and needs attention. Then meet it, face it, don't escape it. This is the work. This is self-mastery. Not some perfect image, but the quiet ability to face discomfort without losing yourself. Many will react the day they'll blame others, blame the weather, blame their circumstances. They'll say it's just a bad day. But you'll know better. You'll know that this is a mirror, a tool, a challenge designed to bring you deeper into yourself. Don't waste it. Don't numb it. Use it. 25th July is not here to destroy you. It's here to build you, but only if you are willing to be honest. Only if you are willing to feel the pressure without escaping. Only if you are willing to choose the path of growth instead of the path of reaction. That's the line. That's the decision, and no one can make it for you. When the storm comes, most look for shelter. But some learn to stand inside the storm. That's who you must become. Not someone who avoids pressure, but someone who transforms through it. 25th July gives you that chance. But only if you are awake, only if you are grounded, only if you are ready to see clearly and act with intention. Let that day be the proof of your training. Let it show you what still needs work. Let it break the parts of you that are no longer serving your future. This is how evolution happens, through pressure, through discomfort, through choice. You don't need to fear 25th of July. You need to respect it. You need to prepare for it. You need to step into it with full awareness that this is not an ordinary day. This is the kind of day that shapes people, the kind of day that reveals leaders, the kind of day that splits the crowd from the committed. So when that day comes, breathe deep, hold your ground, remember your path, and above all, don't collapse, rise. 25th July is a crossroad. It doesn't come with signs or noise. But it forces you to make a choice. This day brings pressure, not to harm you, but to see what you'll do under it. Most people don't realize they are standing at a turning point until it's too late. They feel tired, restless, unmotivated, and they give in to that feeling. They collapse. They let one weak moment become a weak decision, and that decision becomes a pattern. That's how people lose themselves quietly. But the same pressure that causes one person to fall can push another person to rise. That's the difference. The day is the same. The energy is the same. The question is, who are you going to be on the 25th of July? The moment will come when you feel like escaping. The urge to distract yourself will be strong. The temptation to skip your discipline, to delay the hard work to stay comfortable, it will all rise. That's not a failure. That's the test. The real question is what you choose in that moment. This is how 25th of July separates people. It doesn't care what you say. It reveals what you actually do. You can either collapse into your old self or rise into your next version. That's the choice. One path feels easy in the moment, but leads to regret. The other feels hard in the moment, but leads to strength. And every time you pick the easy path, you pay the price later. Growth never happens on the easy path. It's the hard choice that creates the shift. When you feel like giving up and you don't, that's transformation. When you're tired and you still show up, that's evolution. When your emotions tell you to stop, but your discipline tells you to continue, that's the real work. 25th of July will not ask for your feelings. It will ask for your response, your control, your discipline, and it won't wait for you to be ready. You either lead yourself through that pressure or you become a victim of it. That's the danger. Most people don't even know they're choosing collapse. They just react. They get emotional. They complain. They quit, and life keeps repeating the lesson. But once you understand that 25th of July is not here to break you, but to shape you, you take a different path. You stop asking for comfort. You start asking what this pressure is trying to teach you. And when you ask that question, you start to grow. This is the power of awareness. To pause in the middle of discomfort and say, this is my chance to rise, to reset, to become. That's how you turn pain into power. You stop running from it. You walk through it with presence, with strength, with full clarity. You don't need to be fearless on the 25th of July. You need to be clear. Clear that the choice is always yours. Clear that emotions are temporary. Clear that weakness will always try to return. And clear that discipline is the only way forward. Most people will collapse on the 25th of July. They won't know it. They'll think it was just a lazy day, just a hard moment. But in reality, it was a door, and they chose not to walk through it. But if you're present, if you're committed, you walk through that fire and come out sharper, cleaner, stronger. You don't need permission to grow. You don't need the perfect conditions. You need a decision, one clear decision, that no matter what this day throws at you, you will hold your center. You will not collapse. You will rise. The world is full of people who gave up in silence, who chose comfort when they should have chosen clarity. Don't be one of them. Let 25th July be the day you saw the storm coming and stood still inside it. Let it be the day you remembered who you are and acted like it. Let it be the day you broke the cycle. There is no growth without resistance, and 25th July brings that resistance. What you do with it determines what kind of person you become. Don't collapse. Don't make excuses. Don't follow the noise. Choose the hard path. the path of awareness, the path of discipline. This is the moment, this is the test, and you already know the answer. You already know what needs to be done. The only question is, will you do it? 25 July will pass, but the effect of your choices that day will not. They will echo in your focus, in your confidence, in your future. So make the right choice, not the easy one, the right one. Choose transformation, not collapse. Choose growth, not reaction. Choose the path that demands more from you because it will give more to you. You have one day, one moment, one chance. 25th of July, don't waste it. 25th of July will not scream to get your attention. It will not bring a sudden crash or an obvious disaster. That's not how it destroys. The real danger is silent. It creeps in through small, invisible cracks. It shows up as a subtle change in your mood, a delay in your routine, a small decision to do nothing when you should be doing something. That's how it begins. You don't notice it at first. You tell yourself, I'm just tired today. You skip the workout. You delay the journaling. You ignore the thoughts that need to be faced. But that one moment becomes two. And by the end of 25th of July, you've already stepped back into the version of you that you thought you left behind. This is what makes that day so dangerous. Not the visible breakdown, but the quiet, hidden one. Every decision you make that day will carry weight, even the small ones, especially the small ones, because those are the ones that shape your direction. You don't collapse in one step. You collapse one excuse at a time. You fall not because something big broke you, but because you allowed the small to go unchecked. On the 25th of July, the energy will push you toward comfort, toward distraction. It will test if your discipline is real or if it was just for show. This day doesn't care what you planned. It cares what you choose in the moment when no one is watching. And that's exactly when most people lose, not in front of others, but in silence. When they choose to ignore the voice inside that says, so stay sharp. You can lie to the world, but you can't lie to your own energy. If you break your own word, if you ignore your own discipline, if you pretend everything is okay while your inner world is collapsing, you will feel it. Maybe not today, but the effect is real. It builds. So it spreads. And soon you're wondering why your motivation is gone, why your emotions feel heavy, why everything feels off. It's because you allowed the small cracks to stay open. 25th of July is the day to close those cracks, to become painfully honest with yourself, to see the excuses for what they are, to feel the weight of what happens when you choose avoidance over action. It's not about guilt. It's about clarity. Because when you see it clearly, you can change it. Growth is not about perfection. It's about awareness. So it's about catching yourself when you sleep and choosing to correct it immediately. 25th July is not about avoiding mistakes. It's about seeing them fast, owning them fast, fixing them before they become patterns. That's how you stop the quiet destruction. Well, you pay attention. You become the watcher of your mind, your behavior, your energy. You see the small changes before they grow into chaos. That's what most people miss. They wait until things fall apart to act. By then, it's already late. But the one who's awake, the one who's present, they move before collapse. They feel the shift and they correct course in the moment. This is the power of self-awareness. And it's exactly what 25th of July is demanding from you. Not just surface level motivation, but deep internal leadership. You must lead yourself through the small moments, the quiet traps, the invisible decisions. That's where the battle is. That's where transformation happens. The people who fall on the 25th of July won't even know it happened. They tell themselves stories. It was just a lazy day. I needed the rest. I'll start again tomorrow. And with every sentence, they bury their potential deeper. But the ones who rise, they feel the discomfort and move anyway. So they recognize the emotional pull and stay still. They face the temptation to disconnect and reconnect instead. That's the real power. So now you decide, how will you treat the small things on the 25th of July? How will you handle the moments no one sees? because those are the ones that decide who you become. The most dangerous part of 25th of July is how ordinary it looks, but beneath the surface, it is testing every part of you. If you pass the test in silence, the rewards will echo loudly. You'll feel stronger, cleaner, more stable. If you fail in silence, the damage will echo too. You'll feel confusion, doubt, heaviness. This is why it matters. This is why you cannot afford to be unconscious on this day. Let 25th of July be the day you sharpen yourself, the day you choose to be better in ways no one notices, because that's what makes the difference. Not the big dramatic shifts, but the daily invisible ones. That's how real growth happens, quietly, steadily. And it begins when you stop letting the small things destroy you. So be sharp, be still, be present. 25th of July is your mirror. Face it fully. Don't wait for destruction to show itself. Catch it before it grows. That is mastery. That is the path forward, and it's in your hands. 25th of July is a deadline, not for the world, but for your inner world. For the patterns you've allowed to rule your life, it's a line drawn in silence, unseen but deeply felt. If you ignore it, so the cost won't be external, it will be internal. You'll feel it in your energy, in your sense of clarity, in how you wake up the next morning. The real destruction isn't outside, it begins inside. That's what this day is about. There is a version of you that has been trying to break free, a version that's tired of the same cycles, tired of surviving, tired of repeating the same emotional responses. It's been knocking on the door for weeks. But 25th of July is the day that door either opens or closes again. Most people think their enemy is the world, but that's a lie. The real enemy is the self that clings to comfort, that runs away from change. That tells you it's okay to do what you've always done. That voice will be loudest on the 25th of July. It will tell you to stay in bed, to not take the risk, to keep your mouth shut when you should speak. So to say something when silence is power. That's the test. And the test won't come with a warning. It will appear in an interaction, a message. So a moment where you're triggered, where you're tempted to repeat your past instead of building your future. These are the moments that either strengthen you or sink you. You have to be awake on 25th of July because the old version of you will try to come back. That identity that was shaped by fear, shaped by avoidance, shaped by false strength. It will try to reclaim its place. But you don't have to let it. You don't have to obey it. You don't have to collapse into it just because it's familiar. Familiar doesn't mean right. Comfortable doesn't mean true. 25th of July is your opportunity to break that illusion, to finally say, I see you, but I no longer serve you. That's how you evolve, not by waiting for the right time, but by declaring, now is the time. What most people don't understand is this change is not made in giant leaps. It's made in the decision to stop being who you used to be. That decision happens fast. The transformation takes time. But the moment of decision, it's instant and it must be made clearly. So when 25th of July arrives, ask yourself this: do you want to stay in the old skin, or do you want to step into the unknown and become someone new? The cost of growth is always the death of who you were. That's why it hurts. That's why it feels like loss. But you are not losing your truth. You're losing your limitations. That's a price worth paying. And on this day, you must be willing to pay it. This is not a day to play small. It's not a day to let the past speak louder than your future. This is the day to challenge your inner programming, to notice your habitual reactions and consciously override them, to walk away from chaos and choose peace, to stop chasing validation and choose self-respect. You must understand, every day does not carry the same weight. 25th of July is not just another day. It holds a mirror. It reflects where you are, and it dares you to change. But it will not force you. It will not wait for you. You either act or you repeat. That's the truth. And repeating means you carry the same emotions, same patterns, same pain into the next season of your life. You may dress it differently. You may pretend it's new, but deep down, you know it's the same loop. And that's the real destruction, the slow death of your spirit through repetition. But you can change it. You can say no. You can wake up on 25th July and say, I'm not going to play this game anymore. You can shift your posture, shift your breath, shift your attitude, and everything begins to move. You don't need permission. You need decision. That's what creates momentum. So use this day. Don't waste it. Don't sleep through it. Not physically, but mentally, emotionally, spiritually. Be fully present. Watch yourself. Catch the old habits before they catch you. Choose your words with care. Choose your actions with discipline. Choose your energy with intention. This is how you make 25th of July the day you rise, not the day you collapse, not the day you crumble in silence, not the day you let the past win again. Let this be the day you declare no more delay, no more fear, no more self-betrayal, because the pain of change is always less than the pain of regret. And the regret of ignoring this day, of sleeping through the tests, will stay with you longer than you think. There are moments that define you. This is one of them. Quiet, subtle, but powerful. Make it count. Not for the world, but for the version of you that's been waiting. Let that version rise. Let the old one fall. That's how you stop destruction. That's how you build peace. That's how you become new.